Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation. I chose the social advocacy or social justice advocacy project. So this will be my presentation for that. And let's see if we can get the actual presentation up and running. Okay. 1 second. This worked a little bit better last time. There we go. Okay, so as I said, I chose the social justice advocacy project. And the title of my project is Faculty Campus Climate Assessment. You all know who I am, Kresh. And let's start with a little bit of a background. So faculty assessments have been performed on campuses in the past, and this project focused on studies or campus climate assessments that have been performed on campuses in the US to evaluate and possibly empower university-level academic faculty at Cal State University Dominguez Hills, CSUDH. So generally, these types of assessments are referred to as campus climate assessments. And referring to our text from Cluse and Duffy, an assessment of the strengths and needs of a target population is a crucial component essential to figuring out whether an intervention program would be beneficial or even needed by the target community. Another point that Cluse and Duffy and another reading by Zeldin et al. Suggests that mutual respect and influence and possibly shared leadership or authority are suggested guidelines for empowerment to occur at a community level. So now moving on to some general examples of campus climate assessments that have been done recently in the United States and identified concerns by faculty in the United States. Numerous campus climate assessments have been done and can be found in published literature exploring and identifying general faculty concerns. Which we're going to start with. We're going to move on to some more specific faculty concerns in the next slides. Some general findings from recent faculty campus climate assessments in the US. For example, from Campbell and Amira and Kazar, suggest that departmental factors influence agentic action and perception. Going back to Zeldin and Cluse, who recommend or suggest that when the target population feels they have a voice or are agents of change, this leads to increased engagement and empowerment. So departmental factors definitely are something to consider. And also Cox, and McIntosh, Reason, and Teranzini suggest that institutional policies influence faculty perceptions and practices related to teaching and learning. So now moving on to some more specific target populations within the faculty or subgroups within the faculty, starting with faculty of color. Some concerns that have been identified or reported in recent previous US campus climate assessments, feeling the need to work harder than their counterparts, microaggressions directed at students or faculty of color, instigated difficult racial dialogues. Sue and Company report this, as well as one of the results of this is it leads to fear of self-disclosure. And this is interesting because there's something along similar lines that I found out about the Dominguez Hills faculty, which we'll share in the results section. So anyway, also racial microaggressions were something the participants experienced on campus daily, according to research done by Pittman. And the study by Pittman, or the assessment by Pittman, suggests that generally micro insults were experienced with the student body and micro invalidations with the other faculty. So also an earlier study by Conley and Heyer suggests that one of the results from a campus climate assessment is regarding faculty of color is uncertainty pertaining to institutional commitment to diversity and the faculty's professional development. A more recent study showing the benefits of a faculty climate assessment is by Zambrana and Company in 2017, showing that discrimination experienced was different based on intersectionality of race, ethnicity, and gender. That's highly interesting and relates to a number of topics we've discussed in class. Moving on to gender concerns shown by US faculty climate assessments. I've combined these by two more recent studies, one by Carpina and Company, and the other one by Pololi and Company. And the reason these the concerns identified in these two US campus climate assessments include work-family conflict, workplace discrimination. There's a feeling of less congruence with the values of the female faculty and the values of the institution. They view the institution as less family-friendly. They also report being less likely to believe the institution as addressing diversity concerns. And they also report lower perception of gender equality, as well as lower career advancement, including reporting lower self-efficacy, as well as feeling a lower sense of belonging. Also regarding sexual orientation concerns identified and reported in a recent campus climate assessment by Garvey and Rankin in 2018, suggesting that campus climate can significantly influence a queer spectrum or transgender spectrum faculty members' intent to leave. And their results suggest that these are evident more significantly in town and rural area institutions. The campus climate assessments have been beneficial in identifying disability concerns. A study by Shigaki and Company in 2012 included reports of discrimination, harassment, disability or not feeling accepted for their disability or disability acceptance, or disability awareness, as well as campus accessibility. All of these concerns have been identified in recent US campus climate assessments and kind of lead to the importance of why I considered one should be done at Dominguez Hills. And I found out that one was recently done. So it was administered at CSUDH, and there was a survey committee formed in 2015 at the behest of the provost, and it was predominantly comprised of psychology and sociology faculty. There was a pilot run on STEM faculty, and then general administration began in 2015, and the results were presented to the Academic Senate in 2018. Data was successfully collected from 146 faculty, 79 identified as women and 67 as men, 17 identified as Asian, 4 as Black, 4 as Latina or Latino, 87 as white, and 21 either reported their ethnicity as other or were collapsed into this group because they checked multiple ethnicities. Out of this sample, 84 faculty were tenured or on the tenure track, and 62 instructors were part-time or adjunct faculty. And as far as the results, there were 4 primary concerns identified through the survey, and I've ranked them in the order of average response. So for example, for the first item, or the first concern was transparency in department budgetary processes. And the mean response, or the average response of the faculty sample, was 3.27, which is basically slightly disagree. So they slightly disagree with transparency in department budgetary practices. The next concern was underrepresented minority faculty, concerns regarding feeling free to express their opinion without fearing reprisal, which kind of goes back to concern identified in, I believe it was the Sioux study, in regards to self-disclosure or fear of self-disclosure. And then concern number 3 was adequate lab resources allocated to support teaching assignments. And concern number 4 was of part-time faculty reporting not feeling as a part of the department, which goes back to the Cluse reading and the sense of belonging discussion that we had a few weeks back. Continuing the previous efforts, and I'm focusing primarily on CSUDH because that is the focus of this project. So besides the concerns identified, there were also some strengths identified, including that in general, racial, gender, sexual ability discrimination concerns are on average low. Out of a 0 to 8 response, on average, they were about 1.44 out of 8. So very, very low, which was good to hear. Both women and ethnic minority faculty members reported a welcoming departmental and campus environment. There was also perception that Cal State Dominguez plays a vital role in education. And there was a general belief that the students accrue benefits from their Cal State Dominguez Hills education and the relationships formed with the faculty. And I generally tend to agree with that. Anyways, there was also a pride for the students graduating either from their department or. So some of the recommendations that the Campus Climate Assessment Survey Committee Chair recommended, including administering the Campus Climate Survey annually. There was a Campus Climate Survey this year, which was directed at the student body. I have not had a chance to confirm whether or not the faculty were involved in this as well, but I do know that there are no results yet. At least that's what the academic senate shared. We'll get to that in a moment. Anyways, the chair of the survey also recommended performing a comparison or a comparative analysis across all of the 19 CSU campuses. They also suggested that the key concerns or findings from the survey could be a source of extensive conversation, for example, in an academic senate retreat. They also suggested that, or recommended, to address the climate factors identified as of concern and to apply support and funding if necessary. The actions of the academic senate, if any, after receiving the assessment findings and recommendations are unknown. So that is one of the objectives or the critical concrete actions part of the plan of this project, which we're getting to shortly. So anyway, exactly, objectives. So the original primary objective of this project was to assess the Cal State Dominguez faculty for their strengths and needs, and in turn to potentially advocate for or empower the faculty. As it's been found out that a faculty campus climate assessment has already been performed, the primary objective was modified after accessing the results of the assessment, leading to 2 new objectives, basically to address the 4 concerns of the the Cal State Dominguez Hills faculty identified by the existing campus climate assessment and to find out whether any action has been taken to address the identified concerns or recommendations of the survey committee. And the second objective is to advocate for the faculty regarding their needs and strengths in the community in order to assist empowering and advocating for the faculty. So my concrete action number one, I did contact the chair of the academic senate. I found out later through our communique that it was Dr. Talamonte. I contacted her by email to inquire regarding any action taken after the faculty campus climate assessment, after they were shared or presented at the academic senate in 2018. So this is just a copy of the first email that I sent. Like I said, I did not know that she was doctor, so I said, "Dear Mrs. Talamonte, my name is Kresh Friel, and I'm a graduate student in the clinical psychology master's program at Cal State Dominguez. As a part of the community psych course curriculum, I have chosen a social justice advocacy project focusing on Cal State Dominguez faculty, and my original objective was to assess the needs. That has changed to basically contacting you, the chair of the Senate, and acquiring information regarding basically what has been done regarding the data from the faculty campus climate assessment." So I list the concerns, the 4 items of concerns. Oh, crap. The departmental budgetary process transparency, the expression of opinion by minority faculty without fearing reprisal, the sense of belonging by part-time faculty, and adequate lab resources to support teaching assignments. Any information whether these faculty concerns have been addressed and how would be highly appreciated. Best regards, Kresh Friel. I surprisingly did get a fairly immediate response, and I actually have them upside down here. So the initial response from the chair was, "Dear Kresh, thank you for the email. The campus climate survey just ended on April 19th, so that's the current one that I mentioned. I know was directed towards student body, not sure about faculty. But it says that there was a faculty climate survey 2015. They had reports in Senate on that front. Perhaps we can set up a meeting where I can tell you more about the work they've done to respond to the faculty climate survey through the work of the Senate Executive Committee and the larger Senate." She also CCs the administrative coordinator, Suzanne Walker, to set up the appointment. That is actually at the top of this slide where she said, "Good morning, send me some time, options for times and days." So I did respond to that, giving them my availability for the next couple of weeks. I have yet to hear a response in regards to that, but I will post any updated response in the discussion board, at least throughout the semester. Just for those of you who are on the edge of your seat, like I am. I excited, anxious, nervous. I wasn't really expecting a response. I guess this is part of social justice at work. Thank you, Dr. Paxton. So there's a summary of my concrete action number one. Anxious, nervous, excited about meeting with academic senate chair, awaiting response regarding the appointment, and I will update the discussion board with any new information. As far as my concrete action two, basically I will publicly post an online video on YouTube sharing the advocacy issue. So basically the benefits of campus climate assessments, focusing on faculty, the results of the campus climate assessment at Dominguez Hills, and the most current updates on what or how it has been addressed by the academic senate. So basically the publicly posted online YouTube video will be a recording of and the YouTube link will be created and posted for the class as a comment on the CSUDH Blackboard discussion forum after the recording of this video. As far as future directions, if or when the meeting with the Academic Senate Chair occurs and only provides limited information, one option or avenue that was suggested was perhaps to address or contact the California Faculty Association. So that's a possibility. And as far as the public's response from the YouTube video, I have also looked into considering additionally submitting an op-ed piece to local newspapers. And I've actually looked at the submission procedure for the LA Times. So I might just do that. And I will keep you guys updated via the discussion board. Okay, so just references, and that's it. Thank you very much for your time and patience. I look forward to your comments, any questions at all regards to the presentation. Thank you very much, and I am going to stop sharing and stop recording. Bye. Have a good rest of the semester.